This is the Put It in the Air podcast. This is the Put It in the Air podcast.
Yes. Welcome in, everybody, to the Put It in the Air podcast. I'm your host, Brennan Casello, a.k.a. East Coast Virus.
And you know who this is, Pascal Ross Philippe, a.k.a. Punks in Drublic.
Yes, we do. What's up, dude?
Man, you know, another day, another podcast recording.
Yeah. Actually, 2 days in a row podcast recording. 2 episodes last night, actually.
Yep. I figured we might as well pull the Band-Aid off and let everyone know that this should be dropping right now as we're recording. But instead, we're recording right now as we're recording.
We actually spent several hours in Harlem to the wee hours of the morning last night recording 2 of the best episodes I think we've recorded. Yeah, episode 23 and 24. They were awesome, hilarious. A lot of funny things happened and a lot of good information. And I was happy with it. And then we went to edit it. And we were missing a cord, which plugged our soundboard into the computer. So, egg on your face, egg on my face.
Yeah. We're not going to do that again, at least.
No. We at least will not run into that issue again. Actually, that's the first time we didn't do a sound check. We always do a sound check. And last night we were like, we've done this enough. We don't need a sound check.
I think it was more so because it was late. I know I was tired. I just wanted to get it going.
Yeah.
Didn't really think it through properly.
It was a work night, and we had to start after a certain time and finish before a certain time, and we crushed it in terms of the work we put out. But you would need a really good lip reading service to be able to decipher the full episode and the sound effects that we lost. I mean, it was excellent.
Now,
Stay tuned next week.
I will say there would be great options for bad lip reading. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a good submission. But
we could probably, in the off season, when we have nothing to do, we could do something like that, like bad lip read ourselves.
Maybe.
So,
well, anyway, how about we get into the episode? I think we're on the same page here.
So let's get right into it. So first of all, this is our first episode of the week, which we will be focusing strongly on NFL fantasy in general. We've heard your criticisms from many of our listeners.
We're talking about you, Jay, mostly.
Yeah, Jay, Billy, Baba, Frank, my dad, Julia.
Kind of everyone.
Several of everyone. So basically, we decided to cut it up, and we're going to do an NFL-centric episode to start the week, and then we're going to do a PETA league episode, which focuses more on our individual league for the second part of the week. And we're going to do this all season and try to kind of develop our listenership and get things moving in a positive direction. So it's very exciting.
Sounds like a good segue. Let's get this thing moving in a positive direction.
Positive direction. All right. On today's episode, we're going to recap week 1, as usual. We'll go over some injuries to watch. We have superlative rundown to kind of talk about the top players, some overreactions to week 1, as well as some opinions and predictions for this season. So let's get into it. This is where I press the sound effect for rundown.
Philadelphia at Dallas. Both teams were short their best defensive players from last year after one loogie gets punished, but the loogie that started it went unseen. And the loogie that is Jerry Jones let his best player walk. The Lightning almost ruined the show as the defending champs looked hungover versus a Cowboys team most had written off. Hurts bruised Dallas's ego by rushing for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns as the compact disc keeps spinning regardless of who's throwing the ball. But can he play defense too?
People are usually happy when the CD drops, but not Dallas fans. However, as Dallas loses to Philly 24-20.
The LA Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Follow Hermon. Joga Bonito was embraced by the Superchargers of Los Angeles, whereas the Chiefs finally got the result we all expected last year every week. Jay Herbo went off for 318 yards and 3 touchdowns, as Mr. Swift was invisible to the defense as usual, but not much else went Patty's way.
Obrigado for that, Pascal. The Chargers keep this one out of reach as Kansas City gears towards an early off-season break. Kansas City 21, LA Chargers, who are actually the home team, 27.
The New Orleans Saints versus the Arizona Cardinals. 2 dome teams square off. Only one survives. Or something like that. I'm not really sure, because this game was as forgettable as the QBs on the Saints depth chart. Kyler was in mid-season form, unfortunately for fantasy owners. But the Saints are really bad, and the Cards are not.
Kyler, McBride, and Harrison Flash in New Orleans has to play 60 minutes of football, so they showed some fantasy value. But the Cardinals win this one easily. Final score, Cardinals 20, Saints 13.
The Indianapolis Colts versus the Miami Dolphins. Danny Dimebags is wearing a new blue and playing like he's renewed. No one speaking on this podcast right now thought there was any chance he'd outduel the fencing coach. Yet 33 points later, and here we are. What does this say about Brian Daboll and Mike McDaniel?
Daniel Jones scores on all 7 offensive drives, and the Dolphins drop down the rankings further than anyone as they get crushed 33-8.
The New England Patriots versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Geno versus Drake was expected to be a coming out game for the year 2 QB, according to Patriots talking heads. Instead, it was more of the same as the sobering reality that rebuilds usually take time hit hard. Former Patriots coach Pete Carroll showed that maybe he was a bit more savvy than many assumed when he rekindled his love for Mr. Smith.
Whoa. I thought that was going to be longer. It was the Patriots he was talking about. Anyways, Drake May shows flashes and some promise, but unfortunately flashes don't work in a black hole as Geno Smith leads the Raiders to the W. 20-13 over the Patriots.
The New Jersey Jets versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Swapping quarterbacks really works, but the Jets and the Steelers both look to be in much better situations as they open the season with each other's openers from last year. Both signal callers looked like they did 5 to 6 years ago, but the Jets can't help Jets sing it up and gave away the win just when it looked like they might overcome.
After swapping quarterbacks in this offseason, these two teams traded big punches, showing off for Fantasy World as this game gets capped off with a 60-yard kick to put Pittsburgh on top 34-32 over the Jets. New York Jets.
The Washington Commanders at the New Jersey Giants. The Commanders were bound to regress after a magical season last year. But would it happen against what some people believe is a top-tier defense in New Jersey's A-team? No. The Giants are not good, as expected. And the Commanders handled them handily, as expected.
Russell Wilson? Russell will not, son. Jaden Daniels picks up where he left off as the Washington defense shut down the Big Blue Wrecking Crew 21-6, and it happened in Washington. I don't think they would have done that in New York or, that place over the river.
Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Carolina Panthers. Trevor Lawrence didn't do much to inspire confidence, but Liam Cohen Duval gave a resurgence to Travis Etienne, and Bryce Young showed why he got benched last year. It will be a long season for both fan bases if these former number one picks can't get it together.
Long hair weirdo versus win column 0. Jacksonville looks poised for a great season, and the Panthers do not. Jacksonville 26, Carolina 10.
The Cleveland Browns versus the Cincinnati Bengals. The most underachieving Week 1 team this decade almost did it again. After losing to the Patriots in Week 1 last year, the Bengals had to walk across a public road to practice every day of the season. Now, to be honest, that would have happened if they won or lost, but they didn't want a repeat of losing to a lowly opponent this year, so they beat the 18 QB Browns by 1 point. Unfortunately for everyone in Ohio, the Browns still suck, so the outcome is not the best for LeBron et al.
The Bengals start off slow again as Flacco keeps the Browns in this one, coming up short just as usual. Cleveland 16, Cincinnati 17.
The Atlanta Falcons versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Two of the more talented teams in the NFC faced off in a game that might have playoff ramifications down the line. Superstar running back Bijan Robinson started the game with a bang, taking a screen pass for 50 yards into the end zone. But the fireworks fizzled a bit from there on out. The Bucs haven't found their running game yet, but a budding romance between Baker Mayfield and rookie wide receiver Emeka Egbuka sealed the deal for the Orangecicles.
Baker and Penix trade blows. Both teams looking solid on both offense and defense. But Young Wei Koo reminds us why special teams are so important as he misses the game-tying field goal to lose 23-20.
The Seattle Seahawks versus the San Francisco 49ers. In a game that no one outside of the Pacific Northwest knew was even happening, two former monsters of the Far West attempted to outboring each other. I didn't watch this game, but neither did anyone else, so don't worry about having to talk about it around the water cooler.
Two fantasy-packed potential powerhouses joined together for a West Coast snooze fest, which we all should forget by now. San Francisco pulls off the W and then fires their kicker, even though they win 17-13.
The Denver Broncos versus the Tennessee Titans. No Knicks is back against a team most would have bet was going to get mollywopped if you asked them before Sunday. While they weren't firing on all cylinders, they did enough against the worst team in the league last year to pull out the win, as Tennessee has an excuse for being so bad. They were this bad last year too.
Talk about a snooze fest. Cam Ward was napping under center. Bo Nix wanted to help him by turning the ball over 3 times. A couple of Broncos scores outweigh Tennessee's 4 field goals as Denver wins 20-12 over Tennessee, who's probably going to get the first pick again next year, let's be honest.
The Green Bay Packers versus the Detroit Lions.
Unbelievable.
Will the Lions still be good after losing their superstar coordinators? Is what many of us asked this offseason. No, is what we're saying now. The Packers, however, bolstered their team throughout the offseason, culminating in trading for the best defender in the NFL, a move they hope mirrors the last time they brought in the best pass rusher in the league into the fold.
Jordan Love, Micah Parsons, and the Lions beat up on the Lions as Detroit looks like their old selves and Green Bay has something to smile about. Green Bay 27, Detroit just 13.
The Los Angeles Rams at the Houston Texans. Another Week 1 snooze fest saw two teams with high expectations floundering as fantasy players league-wide winced at the lack of production. Defenses' performances abound in this matchup, but the latest ageless wonder did just enough in the end to knock down his much younger counterpart, who might need to focus less on his podcast and more on his playbook. Leave the casting to the pros, buddy.
Sophomore slump bleeding into junior year? If CJ Stroud keeps this up, he'll be going after his senior year. Talk about seniors, Matt Stafford and Devontae Adams hold it together, and Puka dominates, bleeding all over the field as the LA Rams take this one 14-9 over the Texans, who didn't do nothing except Kaimi Fairbairn and maybe that guy Chubb. He did a little something there, a little something. Not really, but a little.
The Buffalo Bills versus the Baltimore Ravens.
Insane.
By far, the best game of the week was against two teams that each should have made the Super Bowl last year. Unworthy MVP award winner Josh Allen was out to show that last year's voting wasn't a fluke. For about 55 minutes of the game time, he was failing in that effort. Lamar, Derek, and fam were going ham. Then Henry decided to play hero, fumbled the damn ball, and Josh went to work. I won't say the Ravens lost this one, as 15 points in 5 minutes for the Bills is impressive and almost makes up for the 13-second debacle of a few years ago. But the Ravens lost this one.
Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, and Derrick Henry launched Baltimore ahead in this battle of heavy hitters. But Josh Allen and company don't back down and take advantage of a late missed extra point and that Derrick Henry fumble to close this one out with a kick on the final tick of the clock. Buffalo 41, Jacksonville, Baltimore 40.
The Bears versus the Minnesota Vikings. Caleb came out on fire, connecting on his first dozen or so passes, had fans salivating at the idea of this offense with Ben Johnson. Unfortunately, the game is longer than 30 minutes. J.J. McCarthy, on the other hand, looked like the worst QB drafted in the first round last year through 3 quarters. Lucky for him, you play at least 4 quarters in the NFL. In what ended up being a great matchup, the better team won.
Caleb Williams starts off molten hot as the Bears look to dominate their division rival. However, late bloomer J.J. McCarthy pulls the rug from under Chicago and steals this one in his debut, 27-24 in an electric showdown. Both teams looking really good. Both teams looking really promising. So, yeah, that's all the games. So you eat it, have it, take it in, lose it, bring it back.
It was a good weekend for football. Even the bad games had close endings.
Very close. Speaking of close, I'm not very close to that button I usually press where we go. Injuries. We're going to have to go into the injuries. The unfortunate part of NFL fantasy football where players get injured and it sucks because you rely on them. Pascal, take it away with the first man.
All right, so we've got George Kittle, who is a keeper. He had a hamstring injury. Brendan called it out in the chat that it was a bad injury because they announced it pretty much right away after he was hurt. And he was right. IR, out for at least 4 weeks. We'll see how he recovers. There can be setbacks.
Yeah, it's always concerning when your player is taken out of the game for injury, and then immediately they say, "Yeah, he's not coming back to this game." It's like, oh, damn, that's not good. Next man on the docket. That's probably the most important injury, though. I'd say of week one. Sorry, Mike Longo. That's your 4th-round keeper. Shite. The next injury is actually also a keeper, unfortunately for one of our group members. Brock Bowers. Looks like he got a knee issue. He picked up a knee issue. It looked like a non-contact injury, but it seems like it was brought upon some pain from a banging his knee earlier in the game, a few plays earlier. In fact, he downplayed the injury after the game and shouldn't miss any time. However, I would keep a close eye on the practice reports. Haven't seen anything come out just yet about that. So
I don't know about other teams, but with the Patriots historically, if you're talking after the game, then the injury isn't that bad, because if you have a bad injury, you're with the trainer, you're not talking to reporters.
That's certainly interesting and definitely something to note. But sometimes, teams lie as well. I mean, you have...
Sure. And also, injuries can get worse overnight. Like, once the swelling starts to kick in, it could be okay for now and worse. So, gotta keep an eye on it.
Not like he did his own imaging. If he got any imaging done, I'm sure they did look at it in some form or fashion. But there's NFL coaches out there like Pete Carroll. They're not giving you the right injury information. They kind of hate fantasy football, so they kind of dig at us. And it's part of the game, whatever.
Yep. So next we've got Brock Purdy. He has a toe injury and a shoulder injury. The toe is worse than the shoulder. The shoulder is non-throwing, which can affect your game, but a lot of times you can still play, depending on how bad it is. He's really questionable. Got to keep an eye on the injury report.
Yeah, I don't foresee him playing this week. I've been seeing some very less positive, reports on him. So very likely going to miss this week. So make sure you got your backup ready. Going. What's that?
Who? Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Oh man, I forgot the phone number. I wish I could sing it right now.
Yeah. All right, moving along.
Next player we got Mr. Drake London, another keeper. Now this one is scary because it's considered a shoulder sprain, which doesn't sound good. Sounds painful, especially for a receiver. They got to get their hands up and get that ball. When you got 15 targets in a game, you're definitely going to want to not be feeling pain every time you raise your arms.
I feel like he's going to get a Toradol shot, and they're going to tell him to get out there.
He's like a badass dude. This is a lot of pain management.
As long as he can lift his arms.
Yeah, but what it's going to come down to, he's getting more imaging done to determine the severity of his injury. So this could be something more than just a day-to-day situation. And I don't see IR, but I definitely could see 1 to 2, possibly even more weeks on this. So.
Well, another wide receiver keeper who had a shoulder injury is Xavier Worthy, but his shoulder was dislocated after he collided with Mr. Kelsey Swift over there. Yeah. And so he's likely to miss some time. It's really up in the air for his return. I think that it depends on if there was any structural damage, but keep an eye out.
I highly doubt he plays as well. The first set of players on this list, I doubt any of them are going to play. Maybe Brock Bowers, but I don't know about the other guys. Next on the list, another guy that has a very questionable situation is Evan Ingram, new starting tight end on the Denver Broncos. Marvelous, the current champion, has him as a starting tight end. So Marvelous, definitely keep an eye on this. The severity of his injury is unknown, but calf injuries tend to create absences. So just keep an eye on that injury report as it comes out this week.
Yeah, I mean, he's in Denver, right?
Yeah, Denver. He's just
so,
landed,
I mean,
basically.
Not a great time. At least he got camp, but like you're trying to build chemistry with your new quarterback. And No Nix is not playing great anyway after one game, so
True.
This doesn't help things.
Sucks.
So then we've got Jaden Reed, someone who seems to be perennially hurt. But he's got a Jones fracture.
He
And
will be
so
great this year.
he'll be questionable the entire season.
Oh,
So it's basically the bone on the side of the foot that connects to the pinky toe. And it can be really painful. It's going to bother him the entire time. And with the Thursday night game coming up, it's, worth monitoring for sure.
yeah, and that injury is you need surgery for that injury. Otherwise, you can play through it, but it is one of the most painful injuries, and you have to be a super badass. So, Jaden Reed, you're on the clock for badassism, right? Matthew Golden, another wide receiver from the same locker room.
Sitting on my bench.
Yep, he's on his bench. Grabbed an ankle injury. There's not too much information surrounding the injury as it's early in the week. It is important to note that he would have been limited to practice Monday since they have a Thursday night game. Make sure you're checking and keeping him.
So he ended up returning to practice fully, so he should be. I don't think he has an injury designation heading into Thursday.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
But just keep an eye. You never know with ankles. You definitely want to make sure those guys have sturdy ankles.
So another receiver, Jawan Jennings, another shoulder injury, appears to have avoided major injury. And after receiving an MRI Monday, which is good news, however, he remains questionable for week 2.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Jawan Jennings or Xavier Worthy or the other guy with the shoulder, Drake London. I did read, and I'm sorry to give you this information without the actual name, but one of those guys is going to get a second opinion, and it's looking glib, gloom, drab, not good. I don't know, but it's not looking good. It's looking gloomy. All right, so next player we have is another Thursday night player, Austin Eckler, a guy on my bench, a running back for Washington. He is playing Thursday and was listed limited Monday. The following day he came out and got that questionable tag taken off, just like Matthew Golden. So it looks like he's good to go as well. It looks like Bill Krosky and Austin Eckler are going to be
Let's go, Billy boy.
Chasing Jaden Daniels for most rushing yards on that team.
Hey, Bill Krosky played his butt off in limited action.
Back to Krosky.
He's showing why they got rid of Brian Robinson.
Yeah, well, I mean, it definitely opened the floodgates for him. And, what did he get? 80 yards on 10 carries, so if straight 8 and a touchdown. I know that because Pascal said it last night. I'm stealing his words, but we're recording the same episode. We're trying to change it.
All right, so then we've got Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk went out with a hamstring injury, kept him out week 1, and he's got a cloudy diagnosis for playing week 2. So not looking good. He's getting older, so all these injuries not good for his outlook. And
he is on somebody's bench as well. I know that was a question that we reviewed. Is it Frank, maybe? Either way, probably not going to play week 2. We'll see, though. You never know. Next player actually isn't considered questionable. However, DJ Moore with a shoulder or a head, something. Basically, to give you a lowdown, he took a huge shot Monday night, which looked like it might be serious. However, he returned a few plays later and should be good to go. Looked like he just may have gotten the wind knocked out of him. So everybody was like holding their breath, gasping for air. Like, holy crap, DJ Moore is supposed to be so awesome and take a huge level up with Caleb Williams and Roma Dunze and the Ben Johnson offense. I mean, and thinking that, people were stressed about that, but he's a tough dude, and getting the wind knocked out of you sucks. It looks like you broke everything in your body for a few minutes,
Yeah, it was a hard hit. Definitely thought he was going into the blue tent, but then he was right back out there.
Very surprising.
So then, lastly, we have Jalen Waddle.
What kind of injury did he have?
It was A weekly injury.
I put it as his weekly injury.
He left the game limping. However, he made the return shortly after. Expect this from him throughout the season.
Perfect. Sorry to clap after all the injured players. We hope you all get better and get back on the field so we can watch you do your thing. You guys are all awesome. Except for pretty much all those guys are awesome. Except for, no, we won't go there. So anyways, we're going to go ahead to the Superlative Rundown, where we talk about the top players in each position. So,
I'll get started. So first we had Josh Allen at quarterback going up against yours truly, making things really, really interesting to close out the week. But he scored 38.26 points to lead all players in the NFL.
Yeah, he was actually the only player in our league format that eclipsed 30. Actually, this running back of the week did eclipse 30 as well. However, Derrick Henry fumbled the ball at the end of the game and went down to 29.2, which is still extremely respectable. RB1 in the week and, top 6 RB taken in the draft, I believe. So well-deserved and rock and roll. Good job, Henry.
Next, we've got Zay Flowers on my team, who allowed me to keep the win. He scored 28.1 points.
It was huge
to lead all wide receivers. Really, really showed up big in that game.
Was it him that accidentally caught a touchdown? Or no, that was Keon Coleman who caught somebody else's touch. I think it was Josh Palmer's touchdown or
something. Yeah, I think it was Coleman. I think you're right.
Yeah, Coleman caught somebody else's touchdown. So that kind of made me think, maybe take those points away. Maybe he looks a little, he looks good. He doesn't look elite.
No, he went for like 150 yards and a touchdown. So
he was getting 36, 44, 26-yard plays, touchdowns. He was doing his thing. Yeah. By the way, all 3 of those players from the same game Sunday night. So just shows you how good that game was. Let's go to another game, another team that isn't as dominating. The tight end of the week. Surprise, surprise, it's Jawan Johnson, fresh off 11 targets, 8 catches, 15.6 fantasy points on that. Isn't fantastic on a full PPR. However, the targets mean volume, they mean business, and Jawan Johnson, definitely a huge waiver pickup on the week.
And then our top kicker of the week was Spencer Schrader.
Who?
I wouldn't be able to tell you if I wasn't reading it right here that he plays for the Colts.
Oh, yes. I'm glad we inserted the team.
He scored 15 points to lead all kickers.
We will probably know who he is soon enough, after week 1. As to shore it up, we got the Denver Broncos defense of the week with 14, 1 point short of Spencer Schrader. Everybody knows him now. Keeps getting mentions. So, that's the superlative rundown for the league. Congratulations, guys. Hopefully it's a whole different list of guys because none of y'all are on my team. Let's move it along. We got our next segment. It's in the air. Brought to you by Oscar Mayer Wieners.
Are they cutting us a check or?
Yeah, it's a check. Yeah, it's a check that I'm writing.
So what are we putting in the air this week?
Oh, my bad. This is the actual recording.
Yes. What do you mean? I said we're recording.
Okay. All right. I'm totally just out of space. All right. So this week. We should start this over.
No, keep going. Let's go.
Okay, let's move it on. All right, so this week we are asking some of the biggest questions around the NFL. So Pascal, if you want to start with your question.
Yeah, so my big thing is what's going on with your Chiefs? I mean, all of last year they were squeaking out these wins that they should have lost, blocked field goals, crazy fumbles, like all this weird stuff to win these games. Finally this year, and they make it all the way to the Super Bowl. You know, past the Broncos. I mean, the Bills, the Ravens. I mean, not really the Ravens, but still, technically. So what's going on with them? Like they lost really badly to the Superchargers, and is that it? Like, is this phase of their dynasty over? Because Andy Reid's getting old, Kelsey's about to retire. It's not like Tom and Bill where they were both young when they started out together. Andy's going to retire most likely before they can fully rebuild this team, I would think. So what's going on?
I think just simple reality of what should have happened last year as well. I mean, these guys lost some steam. Mahomes is still a great quarterback. I mean, he's otherworldly. Maybe not for fantasy, but he's a great quarterback. Not the GOAT, not the best. We appreciate his dynasty and his attempt at a three-peat, and I think he does have 3 Super Bowls. Correct? Is that
he does.
So he has 3, and he's been to the AFC
I think
Championship.
he has 3 out of 5.
Yeah, they definitely lost 2.
Yeah, because they lost to Tom Brady and they lost to obviously the
Eagles this past year. Yeah, so I just think that this is what the reality of things. Remember, like you said, they won 12 games at 1-score games last year, 12-0 in fact in 1-score games. I think it might have been more than 12 because I'm surprised that they won by more than 1 score 5 times. Oh wait, no.
I mean, there's some pretty bad teams out there. I think they might have played the Patriots.
And they lost games. They weren't undefeated. Like
right.
Team. When was the last undefeated team in the regular season?
All right.
So yeah, I just think the simple answer is they are past their prime. They aren't as good as they were. We all knew it.
I mean, attrition. You lose coordinators. You lose your best players. That's just what happens. It's tough to keep replenishing all that nonstop for an extended period of time. The Pats went 10 years, without a Super Bowl.
And honestly, like people argue, oh, it's temporary because Rashee Rice is suspended and Xavier Worthy got hurt and this person's not there. No, it's not, man. It's if you saw any Chiefs games last year, you saw that. I mean, first of all, they had 12 men on the field, actually more than 12, just that a couple of them were wearing black and white. But they just were not that good. They were not. They really got lucky in several of those games. And they're clock management, game management guys too.
So the Chiefs, big question. Everyone's wondering.
Yeah.
What's on your mind? What is your big question after week 1?
Question. It's a big one. And it's a 2-parter, but I'll give it to you in 1 sentence. Ready? Are the Dolphins doomed, or are the Colts actually that good?
Do I look interested for the second time in 2 days?
I think that what's crazy about this is the answer might be both. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like listen. The Dolphins are definitely bad. We were talking about them in the offseason about likely having the worst defense in the league, right? So we already knew that coming into the season. But then you've got the Colts, and I don't know, I feel like their offensive line is getting old. And I mean, they were just so bad with Anthony Richardson. And I mean, Daniel Jones is not really a good quarterback.
He was the first quarterback in the Super Bowl era to score on all drives that he had the ball.
Listen, I will say this. I heard someone talking about the Meadowlands and how the Meadowlands is the wind inside the stadium is crazy somehow, I guess, coming off the Hudson or whatever. Whatever. However it happens, the wind is crazy in the Meadowlands. And so apparently, they're saying that's maybe a reason why so many quarterbacks are bad in the Meadowlands.
And so
I guess there's a chance that maybe Daniel Jones actually does have a resurgence like Sam Darnold, Geno Smith. I mean, he was the 8th overall pick, right?
I think.
All right, so
yeah.
maybe. Maybe the Colts are actually good. They have Jonathan Taylor. They have Michael Pittman. They've got Josh Downs.
They've
Yeah,
got
maybe they are pretty
the
good,
rookie tight end, Tyler Warren.
right? Tyler Warren on my
Mullen
team.
is still there, looking like a building.
Okay. I think I might have talked myself into it.
You basically just kind of said, yeah, both is the answer.
I think it could be. It could be. We gotta see. We gotta see a lot more from Daniel Jones. Like playing the worst secondary in the league is not really very telling on your skills. And he's still. It's not like he threw for 3 touchdowns. He ran for 2, I think, and passed for 1. So
Yeah.
it's like
He didn't even need to throw. He just took his unbelievably chiseled jawline like Superman and ran on the field and did his thing, man. I'm not a huge Daniel Jones truther. I believe more in Caleb Williams this year, but I gotta say, man, Daniel Jones, we're so sorry on behalf of the New York Giants, the New York Football Giants organization. We're so sorry what happened last year. That was so ridiculous. Happened.
So listen. That's
We looked like
that's
idiots.
what that is. That's what that is. You guys might just be cursed by the location, by calling yourselves a New York team and playing in New Jersey. That might just be the curse of the Meadowlands. I don't know.
You would hope.
I
hope that.
am looking at a different curse, and this is the curse of playing for whoever owns the Bengals.
We've heard this before.
Because, I mean, like, listen, they've had the best offense in the league for years now, right? But they keep on shipping off their defensive players. Not to mention, they make their team walk across a public road to get to practice. They just built an indoor practice stadium within the last like 3 or 4 years, I think. They play like they're a AAA team.
You love talking about that road so much. We should do like a road trip to that road and
Do an episode from the road.
yeah, we'll just record roadside with all the sounds.
Maybe next summer. Maybe next summer during the off season we can go out there for training camp one day and do an episode from the road.
That'd be cool. I want a man, I was gonna say David Njoku signature, but he plays for the Browns. Damn it.
I mean, Jamar Chase would be a pretty cool signature if you're going to get one.
It's the same state, so maybe we can go over to Cleveland and hang out with Drew Carey and stuff too. So.
Anyway, do you have any other questions?
No, I don't. I had one 2-part question, so
Okay.
good.
Nice.
Let's get it in. Let's go on to our next segment.
3 and out.
3 and out, baby. We're on 3 and out. We have a couple questions for you guys. Actually, questions for you, Pascal, and for me. Pretty exciting.
For us guys.
For us guys. Y'all.
All right, so what are we talking about today?
So we want to know who will emerge as the comparison to the 2024 Washington Commanders and or Denver Broncos. Came from mediocrity, ended in playoffs, and in some cases very close to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so one of my teams is a team that I wasn't really believing in this offseason. But after seeing what they did week 1, the Las Vegas Raiders are looking like they might be legitimate. Now, I'm thinking more like Denver. I don't think that they're going to go to the NFC Championship game or AFC Championship game. I don't think that they're going to be that good, but I think they're going to be a lot better than I thought, and probably better than a lot of people thought. That marriage between Pete Carroll and Geno Smith, it looks like Pete made the right decision bringing him over, and he got him for cheap because Seattle wanted to get rid of him and get Sam Darnold. So it looks like that could have been a pretty savvy move. And then their team is just pretty good. You know, they're not world beaters, but like they're solid all around.
I think their culture's good. I think they got the rookie Ashton Genty. They got the sophomore Brock Bowers. These monster, heavy hitting, awesome guys. Max Crosby on defense. The captain just holding it down, and Gino's looking pretty sharp. I think they're going to be good too. They're actually not on my list, which is 4 teams. I went overboard, but
all right. So go ahead, give me a couple of yours.
yeah, I can share some. We'll start off with the Los Angeles Chargers, and it's not because they beat the Chiefs in Brazil, whatever.
Weren't they in playoff team last year?
I think this is a little bit. They're just going to improve a lot. They were a playoff team that got completely embarrassed in the playoffs, right? Like right away, eliminated, didn't look like they belonged there. This year, I think that they may, you know what? I'm going to make a bold call. I'm going to say they win the division. Chargers win the division, and the Chiefs are at least at best 3rd in the division.
Wow.
Count it.
Wow, Chiefs 3rd. All right, so
that's an improvement for the Chargers.
Who's the 3rd team? It's the 4th team. We got the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and
wait, hold on. I just thought of it because it's Broncos.
Broncos, that's right. Okay, yeah. I could see the Broncos coming in 2nd. I could see the Chargers coming in 1st. Okay, I could see that.
Raiders.
Damn. So could the Chiefs be last place? That would be crazy.
That'd be awesome. I'd love that.
Not really, because I don't want them getting high draft picks. They're going to do good things with them. All right. So my second team, I'm taking the Chicago Bears.
Awesome pick.
So, when Caleb was drafting, everyone was saying that he had the best situation as far as talent on the team from any first round pick ever, right? Now it was squandered with a head coach and offensive coordinator who didn't know what they were doing. Now he's got Ben Johnson. Who knows if he's a good head coach, but we know that he's a good offensive coordinator. So they might not get a ton of wins off of him, but the offense is going to be clicking on a much higher level. So if Ben Johnson is a good head coach and he can have the defense running well, and that's a talented defense that they have, so if he can make it all come together, then that's going to be a really good team. And I could see them being a wild card. It's a tough division, but I could see them jumping ahead of the Lions. Brain drain in Detroit benefits Chicago.
Detroit, Packers, Vikings, Chicago.
Chicago in 1st? Oh, you're just saying the teams.
No, I was just telling. I thought you were.
No, yeah. No, I could definitely see them being a wild card team.
Yeah, that's very true. We saw it in the game the other night. The beginning of that game, Caleb was on fire, first 10 for 10, and that beautiful bullet down the sideline to Roma Dunze. Roma Dunze is a huge candidate for a big boost this year. He's definitely has the capability to be a WR1 and the top wide receiver on the Bears, but a WR1 in fantasy, which is it's bold. He'd probably be a WR2, but he has the ability. He has the ceiling.
Yeah, there's a reason why I took him, and I took him in almost every mock draft that I did over the offseason.
Not trying to toot your horn, but it must feel good to have him this year.
Yeah.
And then the Bears really they drafted around Caleb. They got Luther Burden. They got Colston Loveland is their first overall pick, the tight end. And he got worked in a little bit in the first game. It's the first game. It's a tight end. Give him some time, and you're going to see what they do. I know they lost that game, and they looked like complete trash in the fourth quarter, but just give them time. Caleb showed you flashes. You're going to see a lot more of that this year. Another team that I have on my list, I'll give you both of them. We could talk about them quick. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are in for a big boost this year. Trevor Lawrence is the piece that is going to make or break that statement. Travis Etienne is looking like a huge value in fantasy. I mean, the guy had 148 yards or something like that this weekend.
Wow, really that much?
Yeah, and then they traded Tank Bigsby after the game to the Eagles. So now it's him and Bayshaw Tootin as the backup. So his value also goes up. And then, their receiving core, they have Travis Hunter, the number 2 overall pick. They traded up for the Browns. Very good move, I would say. He's going to get more defensive plays in week 2. It's been kind of reported. And Brian Thomas, I know he had a rough week 1. He only scored on a rushing touchdown and then had 1 catch. Not because he's my player. I am a little bit worried, but not really. I think he's going to have some outstanding games, and no big deal. They're in for a good season.
I was thinking that you were probably crazy, but you could be right. That division is not good.
Oh, yeah.
The only other good team in the division is the Colts, maybe, and I had to talk my way into that one.
Yeah, you did.
I don't know if Trevor Lawrence or Daniel Jones is the better quarterback, but the Jaguars definitely have the better skill players.
Yeah, very true.
I mean, like I'll give it to Jonathan Taylor for he's been doing it longer, but like if Travis Etienne can actually put up 100+ regularly, then that puts them on the same level. No one's as good as Brian Thomas Jr. on the Colts. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
And Travis Hunter is a natural, so if he can become a good receiver in this league, then he's going to be on par with Josh Downs and could very easily surpass him. So I could definitely see them going for best team in the division. Still not good enough to do anything in the playoffs, but
wild card team. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I don't think they could be a wild card team. I think
they would win their division, but
Yeah.
they would play a wild card team.
Right, wild card game.
In their home that probably has a better record than them, to be honest. So that's how it usually goes.
Yeah.
But anyways, I like their outlook. They won this week. They're gonna be good. So my last team. Do you have any other teams on this or
No? It's just
all right,
2.
cool. My last team is ATL, shouty. I think Atlanta has a very big wild card in I almost said Desmond Ritter. Oh, my God. Michael Penix. Jeez. I got to get used to Michael Penix being there under center. He looked pretty good in week 1. I don't have anything bad to say about him. Hopefully Drake London's healthy. Kyle Pitts is getting some targets. It's looking pretty good there. Darnell Mooney's coming back from injury. Their defense is looking solid. Young Wei Koo is usually making those kicks. So I see this team putting it together. And let's not forget Bijan.
My guy.
The monster.
I still can't believe that he dropped to me. Like, we foresaw it happening, not the way it happened. But I still can't believe he dropped to me.
I wish I got the number 4 overall pick, man.
I bet.
Such a treat.
Yeah.
Like, you get somebody really good.
Well, I mean, he was the number 1 overall pick, I think, ADP, so.
I think it's Jamar Chase in most leagues.
No, you're right. It is Jamar Chase.
But he was the number 2. I mean,
yeah. You're right.
Hopefully that doesn't mean that he's the duty.
So, listen, I have a question for 3 and Out. I want to know, week 1, who is your way too early Super Bowl matchup pick? I want to know both sides of the equation and give me who's going to win. Okay,
I see. All right, well, we went from wild card teams to the heavy hitters. Actually, my pick is actually pretty boring. I did my, I looked at every team. I looked at all the both conferences and all the divisions, and unfortunately, I don't really like my pick. I really don't. Almost generic in a way. So I have for the NFC, and it's not an NFC East team. It won't be an NFC East team. It is the Green Bay Packers. Ooh, I know. It's the Cheeseheads. They just look really good. They have a lot of offensive weapons. Everything's going their way. Of course, they have an amazing defense, and they just added even more amazement to it. I think that it's not all about Micah Parsons, but he definitely helps boost them and elevate them to that level of potential greatness. I'm looking at Tucker Kraft. I'm looking at Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Josh Jacobs. He didn't even need to do anything this week to demolish the Lions. Their defense really is what all they needed in that game. I just think they're going to be great on that side. And then on the AFC side, we're going to go to a very cold land on a lake, a huge lake, in fact, in the city of Buffalo, New York, the Buffalo Bills. I think Josh Allen leads his team to the first Super Bowl since the early 90s after the four-peat where they lost 4 times. The only 4 times the Bills have ever made the Super Bowl, they lost it.
So is Josh going to take them to the promised land, or
you know what?
Is it going the pack?
Glad you asked that question, because the only way Josh is not making that is if an NFC East team makes it on the other side, which is not going to happen because I told you the Green Bay Packers are going to be there. The Bills lost all 4 of those games to the NFC East, all of them.
Wow.
So the Packers put up a fight, but the Bills put out the cigar and are crowned the 2025 Super Bowl champions.
So you're saying the NFC East owns the AFC East?
Oh, my God. It's so absurd. I mean, the Patriots beat the Eagles in like the early 2000s, I think 03. I think there's one other instance.
It was 04.
04, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no.
The
Actually, now I don't remember.
The Giants and the Patriots got the Eagles number on 3. The Bills, all 4. It was 2 of Washington, a Dallas, and a Giants. I think it was 2 of Washington. It might have been 2 of Dallas. Who cares? And then the Dolphins probably never played an NFC East team in the Super Bowl. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know.
The other team in your division, why am I blanking on it?
The Jets.
The Jets. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm thinking of Super Bowls. Super Bowl 3 was Jets and not the NFC East. So
yeah, I don't know who it was. I don't care.
Cardinals? I think it was the Cardinals.
Maybe. Okay. Okay. So
how about you, man?
You're taking Bills. You're taking Bills. Bills versus the Packers, and who's winning?
And the Bills are winning it. Yeah.
Okay.
Bills are being crowned.
Yeah, I hope not. I love to see them hurt, but for me, I'm taking the Ravens on the AFC side.
Yeah. Not a bad pick.
Yeah. And then I'm taking on the NFC side the 49ers.
What?
So
49ers.
I just think that Kyle Shanahan's a really good coach. I think that that they have a lot of talent on the team, but they have injury issues. But I think that this year they are going to get healthy at the right time. They're going to get into the playoffs as a wild card team, or they might even win the division, because the division is pretty weak. You know, the Rams have Matt Stafford, who's falling apart. The Seahawks look like they're a shell of what they were last year, and the Cardinals have Mighty Mouse, who's about to go on a Call of Duty spree around Thanksgiving. So I think that they're primed to get in, win the division, and get healthy at the right time, and go on a run and beat the Ravens in the Super Bowl, because at the end of the day, Jim Harbaugh is going to choke in the big game, and it's just bound to happen.
Bold prediction. Definitely the boldest of the 4 teams that we selected. I'm glad we didn't double up or double dip. Yeah, that was pretty good. Who's winning it, by the way?
Yeah, the 49ers.
Wow, you're really going in on it.
Yeah.
You're a Christian McCaffrey truther, huh?
Well, so I think that Harbaugh is a bigger damn, what's the word I'm looking for? He is
mind?
no,
No, because
he gives it up in the clutch. Like he's bad in the clutch. He always fumbles it away. He always has a bad game plan. He'll go for 2 at the end of the game and not make it and lose the game.
maybe it's because he loves football and he just wants to extend the game and doesn't want to just run the clock out and play that way.
No, he's tried to win instead of going to overtime, and it's like, go to overtime. You lose. You keep losing going for 2. And so,
they did that against the Giants a few years ago and lost.
I mean, Kyle Shanahan is too. He was the offensive coordinator for 28-3. Lost to Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl twice, I think. Like he's not great in the clutch either, but
he's due is what it sounds like.
I think that he gets his, and before that team really falls apart.
And how much did Scott and Colin pay you to put the 49ers on your Super Bowl pick?
It was not $250 a person.
Why are you so specific? Anyways.
I'm saying what it's not. I mean, come on.
Oh, so it was not 200 either, right?
No, exactly.
All right. This is where the moment where I would let you guys hear this. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh man, I'm glad I don't have to hear it.
Mark, watch.
It's too loud.
It's funny. It's gonna be replaced, but we enjoy it for now. Anyways, Market Watch this week. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna each pick 2 players that are on the rise from last year and 2 players that are on the decline from last year. As a matter of fact, we're not going to do 2. Let's do quarterback, wide receiver, quarterback, running back, wide receiver. All right. Those positions, tight end, we could skip. Unless you have somebody. But let's run with it.
All right. So for my quarterback, I'm going to go with someone we talked about earlier, and Daniel Jones.
Rising, right?
Yeah, rising. He got out of the Meadowlands. I can't say much more than that. He had a really good game. He probably has better all-around talent around him, even though he doesn't have anyone as good as Neighbors. But might have better coaching. We'll see. But yeah, I think he is on the rise.
That's a good pick.
That's why I took him in waivers.
I'm going with another quarterback that has just moved to a new team, and that would be Mr. Justin Fields. He is looking great, and it's not because he performed awesome this week. It's because he is a mobile quarterback. He has Garrett Wilson, who he played college ball with. He has a lot of weapons at his disposal, and I just think that, Breece Hall bouncing back to relevance will help. I think maybe Justin Fields is actually helping that happen too with the dual running threat. I think the Jets will be a little bit better. It's not that they're going to be maybe, the greatest team, but I see Justin Fields' fantasy value going up and staying up as it was when he first started in the NFL. So.
Nice. I think it's a good pick.
Yeah.
So
what about running back? You got.
Yeah. So for me, for running back, I forgot who I had.
I'm trying to think.
I
can give you mine while you think about it.
Yeah, you take yours.
Okay. So I got Jacksonville Jaguars running back Travis Etienne.
That's what I thought. I didn't want to take yours.
Who decided to come back to play. And we did discuss him earlier in the episode, but they sent Tank Bigsby off. So he's going to be the starter again, and the Jaguars are looking good, and I think he's going to have a great bounce-back season this year. Back to fantasy relevance, taken in like the 10th or 11th round. I'll see him as a keeper next year on somebody's team for sure.
So I'm going to go with Javonte Williams.
Okay.
I didn't think that he was going to do much. I faded him over and over in the draft, and then he comes out 2 touchdowns. He's clear-cut starter in Dallas. That team might not be very good, but that offense is probably going to be pretty good. So I think that he's his stock is rising.
Cool. I like that one. For wide receiver, I went with Debo. Messed me up this week, but Debo Samuel is back. He was fading quick, man. He was not looking like he would have another good NFL game, let alone season. He gets new life in Washington. It didn't really look like that was going to translate to any, boost in production, but this dude really showed us what's up, and it actually might be a threat to Terry McLaurin, or as they settle in, it might actually help Terry McLaurin in the long run. But I think Debo Samuel is poised for a huge bounce back, and it doesn't have to be. This isn't bounce back candidates. We're talking about people whose values going up. It doesn't matter if they were up before. That just helps the fact of my point. You know what I mean? He's been there before. I see Debo outperforming. Oh, and one more thing, he played a higher percentage in the slot than he's ever played in his entire career, and he ran a touchdown. The versatility's still there. The jackknife's still there. This dude's going to be good. Wish I drafted him.
Yeah, we'll see. He falls apart. We'll see if he can stay healthy in DC. But my wide receiver who is on the rise is Michael Pittman. Even if I'm wrong about Daniel Jones and it wasn't the Meadowlands wind and it was him, he's still more accurate than Anthony Richardson, who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. So Michael Pittman will benefit. He was injured last year, so he should be having somewhat of a resurgence. And he plays 6 games against the Jaguars, the Titans, and the Panthers. So that alone.
A lot of points coming.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's stop talking about cream of the crop rise to the top. What about all the things that sink to the bottom?
All right, so my quarterback who is sinking down to the bottom, I've got to take Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they already couldn't beat any teams over 500. They couldn't win when the temperature was below 40 degrees. But now they're starting out like this. That's not good. I mean, Mike McDaniel, it seemed like he'd gotten figured out by halfway through last year, and he's not really innovating. Hopefully Achane still gets his touches and his numbers, but just because you're a good offensive coordinator doesn't make you a good head coach. And so that might be the case with Mike McDaniel, and Tua is going to suffer because of it.
Nice pick. Not nice. I mean, I'd like to see Tua do good, but it looks like there's a lot of frustration on the sideline for sure on that team. My stock falling is a new quarterback on a team that traded away their guy to get this guy, and Sam Darnold is that guy. I think Sam Darnold showed flashes last year. It was a really good position for him to be in Minnesota, and he completely outsmarted all of us. And while we were all making fun of his, what was it that he had not the kissing disease.
Mono?
He had mono, and we're like, look at this kid. Anyways, Daniel Jones. Boop! Sam Darnold, seeing ghosts, comes into Minnesota, does awesome, and then goes to Seattle. And, he's got some weapons out there, but I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing a decline. I'm just seeing a clear one. So, yeah.
Heard you. Yep, I can see that too, definitely. And this next guy, this running back, is seeing a decline also. And really, it's more than one guy because it's everyone in the Steelers' backfield. Jaylen Warren, Caleb Johnson, the rookie. It's just looking bad. That team already had trouble. Najee Harris running into brick walls, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And it's not looking much better for these guys. So their stock is down, as far as I'm concerned.
There hasn't been a sexy name in that backfield since Le'Veon Bell, and he ruined that for himself. But got paid. Anyways, my pick would be Mr. David Montgomery. It's because the Lions' offensive coordination is not as fast paced, is not as good, meaning there will be less opportunities for him and Jameer, but Jameer is just so much more talented. I love David Montgomery. I do think he's a talented guy, but he just needs to get those opportunities in order to be fantasy relevant. And I don't think he's bringing back sixth, seventh, eighth round, wherever he went. I doubt he went as late as the eighth, but
Yeah.
I don't even think he's bringing that production on the season. So sorry, David, but you're there.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see. You lose your OC and anything can happen. You look at Josh Allen when he lost Dable. It got bad, before it got better. So
Yeah.
all right. So my wide receiver, who did I have?
Steelers.
Oh yeah, DK. That's right. DK Metcalf. Steelers again. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is going to get hurt. DK was already on the decline last year. I just don't see it getting better for him. I don't even know if he meshes with Arthur Smith's scheme. But yeah, less than a minute left and, on the clock, and DK is not going to be your guy.
All right, so DK Metcalf, interesting pick. I'm going to go with, unfortunately, I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry, Mike Longfellow. I'm sorry, Mike Evans. I think the 11th season of 1,000 yards is not in reach. I think you're a great receiver, Hall of Fame guy. But we saw what it was last year. I mean, they had to patchwork his 1,000-yard season together in extra time, it seemed. The game was well over, and they should have been going to the locker room, but instead they had to embarrassingly get him to his 1,003 yards to get his $3 million bonus or whatever.
Which is a cheap one anyway, because it's 17 games.
Yeah,
it's not the same streak anymore.
It's true. But out of 17 games to be able to do it, it's impressive. But I doubt that it's going to be happening again for you this year.
I don't think it is. I don't think 1,000 yards through 17 games is impressive anymore. I think you have to get 11 or 1,200 for it to be impressive.
Okay.
It's just not. It's what we were talking about before with Saquon Barkley breaking the 2,000 yards and whatever. It's not the same as when OJ did it, right? He was playing 14 games. So if you can't, or was it 12 games? I forget. But if you can't hit 2,000 yards in the amount of games that he did it in, then it doesn't count as far as I'm concerned.
We've had this conversation before. Yards per carry definitely is a good way to kind of decipher who's better or who did it best.
Yeah, or just who hit the number first. Hit 2,000 yards in 12 games, 10 games, I'm going to be thoroughly impressed. You do it in game 17, not that impressed.
Yeah, but if the offense runs through you and you're doing 40 carries, right, a game, in 12 games you hit 2,000, but 17 games you're doing 22 carries a game. It's pretty impressive still. It does have to go with – we have to see how many carries.
Right.
But yeah, I understand your argument and understand your point. But here's the point. I don't even think that Mike Evans hits 800 yards this year.
Whoa. Okay. Bold.
It's bold.
Bold predictions here, folks.
I actually have a share of him this season in one of my teams, and I'm still starting him too. It's one of those traps where it's damn it.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Okay. Good pick.
So I think with that we can trot along to the backyard to our final segment, and I think I hear something. Doghouse. We're gonna put some NFL teams, players, brass in the doghouse. So please, Pascal, without further ado, who's going to the doghouse this week?
So mine is someone who's in a new home, who was hoping to have a resurgence or a good continuation to his career. But George Pickens, you're in the doghouse, my friend. Now, I think I had mentioned a few times in the past about how badly wide receivers who are traded away from the Steelers do once they're gone. And so far, after 1 week, it's not looking so promising. He's not that productive, and then he's making dumb mistakes on the field. No one wants that in their locker room. No one needs that on their team.
Yeah.
So, George Pickens, you're in there with the moldy blankets, brother.
He's a bad apple.
Maybe. At least on the field. I don't know him personally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're a problem in the locker room, like I assume Deontay Johnson is a problem in the locker room. The guy who's been on 7 teams
Definitely.
the last year. But yeah, George Pickens seems to get a lot of press about his personality, attitude. So,
yeah.
It's,
I mean, again, I don't know him personally. I don't know how he is off the field. He might be perfectly fine, but on the field, dumb mistakes costing his team yards. What about you?
Oh yeah, I have a doghouse pick. Y'all would be pretty surprised to know my pick. This guy just can't catch a break. He can't really catch a pass because they're not really coming near him. He's getting targets, but they're not catchable. And that's going to be Mr. Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill in trouble on the field. He's having trouble off the field.
Yeah.
He's having trouble everywhere. If I'm not mistaken, about 4 years ago, he said in 3 years he's going to retire. And that was his plan. And I think his season last year, that was just, I think that derailed his plan to where he just forgot about that statement altogether. And he's basically coming into this year like a brand new flower. However, he just keeps getting negative press, a lot of allegations, and
Listen, he's got a history of negative allegations, like beating his pregnant girlfriend,
I've heard these things, and I'm not here to say that he's guilty, but I am here to say that a lot of allegations might point to a pattern. And then the fact that he apparently, I don't blame him for getting pulled over before the game unless he was like in the shoulder, like driving.
Yeah, no, I think that one he was pretty much in the clear on.
Yeah, I mean, but he did, get kind of thrown around by the officer and reported that his wrist injury from the season was from that incident. And, that was not a good look for him, for anyone in that situation. It would have been a good bounce back year. But I got to say, man, anybody who drafted Tyreek Hill, I would sound the alarms. I would be trying to unload him quick for the name value before any of these other guys realize what's going on with him. And I'm talking to you, Colin, because you drafted him second round. 15th.
Second round. Oh,
yeah,
man.
15. He drafted him 15th overall. He kept for the draft. Like, I have a bold move at 15. And I'm like, is he going to get Trey McBride, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, one of those guys in the second pick early in the second? Like, that would be a good target area for those guys. And I figured that's what he was going to do. That was my strategy. I was going Trey McBride for one of those guys.
Man.
And yeah, he ended up getting Tyreek, and it was a good pick. I mean, it's just the fact is,
maybe it was not. Maybe it was not.
The promise was there, right?
Yeah.
The bounce back, but seeing him angry on the sidelines already in the season, how bad and incapable the Dolphins are, and not to mention he got new allegations for aggression and things with his estranged wife.
What?
Not looking good. Looking good.
Yeah.
8 counts of whatever you want to call it. It's very bad. Bad press.
Yeah.
Bad play.
No bueno.
Doesn't equal these two wrongs are not.
Yeah, Colin, make that trade before everyone else is listening to the podcast.
Yeah, seriously, I might be willing to give up John Palmer for Cyrus. So
That might not be a bad trade, actually.
Well, so maybe even Marquise Brown, actually. If you do actually want to consider that, hit me up on the straight up line. So
Making trades on the pod, heard you.
yeah, we're doing our thing. We're trying to at least.
On that note, as we're using this for personal gain now.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, on that note, you guys stay classy out there, and always remember when setting your waivers to
Put it in the air.
This is the Put It in the Air podcast.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I think there were so many technical difficulties this week that
Yeah, it was wild.
you know, I'm just happy to get something in there. Did we record the sound this time?
Yes, I believe so. Did I push the record button? Yes.
We
All
went
right.
over 2 last night and 1 for 4 or 3 for 4 tonight. So good.
Something like that.
Yeah.
All right, and we're out. Peace.
Later, guys.